At 58, I unexpectedly find myself an English honors teacher in a hidden nook of the northern suburbs of Seattle, where secrets linger in the air. The streets, wrapped in the embrace of pine trees, murmur the sweet secrets of youth, as my students, forever shrouded in hoodies, wander through their own concealed realms. In this cozy corner, lattes become my secret companions, wrapping me in warmth while I navigate a world where true connection dances just out of reach. My heart is tethered to someone else. My husband is everything I could have ever wished for. Steady and serene, he holds our cherished moments close, his voice a gentle whisper even in the storm of emotions. In our small 3-bedroom home, the backyard is a sanctuary of hushed confessions, where lavender flourishes and an old wooden table stands as a silent witness to our cherished, fleeting moments beneath the warm sun. It feels like a lifetime since I've genuinely laughed or surrendered to something that wasn't weighed down by my obligations. Maybe that was the moment my heart started to race for Michael. Michael, the quiet heart of my class, lingers in the shadows, yearning for a connection that feels tantalizingly close yet impossibly distant. He always sits in that second row from the front, right by the window, where the afternoon sun spills in, wrapping him in a warm glow that feels almost like a secret shared between us. He's the kind of student who haunts your mind, a silent shadow that stirs emotions you didn't know you had, lingering long after the final bell rings. While the other boys revel in carefree laughter, Michael remains an enigma, a solitary figure whose quiet presence beckons intrigue and whispers of untold stories behind his watchful eyes. I didn't see him, not because it was forbidden, but because my heart trembled at the thought of what could be. His gaze held an intensity, a depth that was both mature and dangerously captivating, free from curiosity, rebellion, or flirtation. There I stood, heart pounding, lost in the moment, unable to look away. There I stood, a woman who thought she had made peace with her past, yet my heart raced as I lingered at the classroom door, drawn to that second row. His gaze held me captive, awakening a spark I thought long extinguished. Michael lingered after class, captivated by the silent bond that pulsed between them, a connection both thrilling and dangerous. He would hang back after class, heart racing as the others trickled out, drawn to the teacher's desk with a blend of anxiety and thrill. At times it was merely a fleeting question about an essay, but other moments held a daring insight into the novel, a secret whispered between them that felt both thrilling and forbidden. His voice carried a weight that seemed dangerously grown up for someone still in school. He wasn't begging for a better grade. He asked, his voice laced with a longing that hinted at secrets waiting to be revealed. That feeling had slipped away from me, the sweet warmth of being genuinely understood, not out of duty, but because someone cherished the essence of my voice. One Friday afternoon as I collected my books, Michael came closer, a printed poem by Robert Frost clutched in his hand. His eyes sparkled with a secret that sent my heart into a wild flutter. He whispered, "This one made me think of your words in class. As you spoke of that line, a profound ache for something we couldn't quite reach filled the air between us. Your voice lingered in my mind, a soft whisper that sent shivers down my spine." I clutched the paper tightly, my heart pounding as I whispered a quiet agreement. My fingers brushed the edge of the page, and my heart raced, not from the charm of his words or their secret depths, but from the deep ache of desire that felt so wrong yet so right. It felt like a lifetime since anyone truly listened to my words, and even longer since someone decided to cherish them, as if they were a precious secret just for us. From that moment I found myself acutely aware of every glance, every heartbeat, as I navigated my days, desperately seeking confidence while Michael filled the classroom with his presence. Subtle yet captivating, her tidy bun framed a face that held secrets, delicate earrings glinting like stolen glances, and a whisper of lipstick that promised more than it showed, just enough to draw him in, leaving him yearning for what lay beneath the surface. To feel a fleeting instant where I transcended mere labels, where my essence could finally be recognized. I told myself it was all just a performance, keeping the space that was never meant to be crossed. In those fleeting moments as he spoke of Sylvia Plath or Gatsby, I became entranced by his gaze, the lesson plan fading away. I was enveloped in the warmth of being truly seen, not merely a character in a story, but something deeper, something forbidden yet intoxicating. Wednesday afternoon the rain fell like whispered secrets, a delicate veil shrouding the world since third period. Late autumn in Seattle draped everything in a tender, sorrowful mist, as if the sky mourned for a love that remained unspoken, a heartache that lingered like a hidden desire. As the dismissal bell rang out, the courtyard was strewn with shimmering puddles, each a bittersweet reminder of stolen moments spent together in the rain. As I arranged my lesson plans, the rain tapped gently on the window, whispering of stolen moments I longed to slip away into, if only for a fleeting breath. Michael's fingers grazed the edge of my desk, igniting a spark that sent a shiver racing through my body. You're still here, aren't you? Even when we both know we shouldn't be. Despite all we've faced, the silence crackles with unexpressed feelings, igniting a tension that pulls us closer yet keeps us apart. We tread on thin ice, yet my heart races at the thought of you, as if everything else dissolves into nothingness in your presence. I nodded, my heart pounding with secrets left unsaid. He lingered, defying every reason to leave. He let the homework slip away, unspoken between us, like a secret we both knew too well. He slipped into the chair across from me, and in that moment, the air crackled with unspoken tension, the usual walls of the classroom fading away. We shared hushed secrets of a world that lay just beyond our lessons, his heart entwined with the pages of Norwegian Wood, and the haunting notes of motion picture soundtrack by Radiohead lingering between us like a forbidden promise. He opened up about his family, a father who was always absent, a mother whose anxieties overshadowed everything, often forgetting that her son had transformed into a tall, unfamiliar figure. It lingered in the shadows, a secret yearning that pulsed beneath the surface, felt deeply but never acknowledged by those around. I sat in silence, and perhaps it was that very stillness that compelled him to speak on. In your class I discover a connection so profound, it feels like a secret we shouldn't share. My eyes met his for a fleeting moment. Words slipped away, ensnared by the heaviness of emotions left unsaid. Not out of embarrassment, but because a feeling I had buried deep within surged forth, breaking free from the heavy shadows of roles, titles, and my own weariness. I know you feel it too, he murmured, his voice laced with desire. Your gaze reveals everything, a secret tether binding us, leaving my heart racing and my breath caught in my throat. His voice was a soft murmur, laced with longing, holding secrets that danced just beyond reach. I stifled a nervous laugh, trying to mask the whirlwind of emotions inside me, but after a moment I breathed out, you're right. Sometimes I forget that it's perfectly natural to feel fragile and lost. Outside, the rain poured relentlessly, but within, a tempest of feelings began to awaken. Softly, gently, tears slipped from my eyes, cascading into a depth I never knew existed, a bittersweet ache that pulls at my heart. Silence hung heavy, a fragile boundary between what was right and what was yearned for. Each whisper hung in the air, a delicate dance of desire wrapped in the thrill of the unallowed. In that quiet classroom where the golden light flickered through the rain, and the air was heavy with our shared breaths, I sensed something stirring deep inside me. Feelings crept into a realm they were never meant to touch, a place filled with longing and secrecy. The rain lingered, a haunting echo of a love that was never meant to blossom. Words slipped away, and each heartbeat was a secret shared in the shadows. Still, I found myself unable to pull away, aching for that fleeting look, craving the moment when the room would clear, leaving just the soft sound of his steps as he drew near my desk. That day, I stayed longer than I should have, captivated by the stillness of the vacant room as I returned the papers, my heart pounding with unvoiced emotions. Michael lingered, the last heartbeat echoing in a space heavy with unvoiced desires. I leaned closer, my heart racing as I traced each page, his words a soft caress that ignited a fire within me. My hand hovered over the words he had picked, a breathless moment hanging between us, thick with unvoiced emotions. In a world that confines us, our only refuge lies in a love so deep that every heartbeat becomes an act of rebellion against the chains that seek to hold us back. Camus, a name that haunts the quiet corners of the soul, stirring a deep yearning that feels both thrilling and wrong. A whisper that arrived at the very moment it was yearned for. I quickly scribbled my thoughts in the margins, my heart pounding with the intoxicating rush of hidden desire. As I reached out to return the paper, a fleeting charged moment hung in the air between us. What began as a simple accident turned into something more, a brief encounter that left him etched in my mind, and I couldn't bring myself to pull away. I looked up, my heart racing. Michael's gaze cut through me, not as a mere student, but as if he were unearthing a secret piece of my soul that I thought was lost forever. He stood there, a breath away from speaking, his hesitation igniting a thrill of something we both knew we shouldn't feel. I knew I should have stepped back, should have said something, anything, but I remained frozen, and in the heavy silence between us, Michael faltered. Gently, I pulled us back to the world outside our moment. Not gently, not thoughtlessly, but with a fervor that felt too profound for the lives we led. A flame sparked inside, a forbidden desire I was destined to conceal. As he approached, a wave of desire washed over me, but an instinctive urge compelled me to retreat. Soft and fragile, a heartbeat caught in the stillness. Yet it was so undeniable. I could no longer conceal the truth of my heart. As I turned to leave, my heart ached, a bittersweet reminder of the love we could never truly claim. I bit my lip, the words trapped inside, aching to be set free. A whirlwind of feelings swept through me, yet anger remained hidden, locked away in the shadows. My heart raced, knowing we had ventured into a territory meant to remain untouched. His silence whispered secrets, his gaze a forbidden promise. Those eyes pulled me into a silence so deep, where I was no longer a teacher, no longer a wife, but just a woman who had been seen in a way that awakened something long buried inside me, yet I understood it must remain concealed. That night I lay awake, consumed by thoughts of him. I lay beside him, the warmth of his presence wrapping around me like a secret. He pressed a soft kiss to my forehead, then slipped into dreams, leaving behind a bittersweet ache that lingered in the silence. That night I lay awake, consumed by the heavy emotions of what had unfolded. One of us was tethered by duty, while the other was set ablaze by a touch that felt so forbidden yet so achingly genuine. I couldn't bring myself to turn away from it. I started to avoid those fleeting encounters after class. Every second drips with unspoken desire. Each lesson plan a mere distraction from the electric tension that simmers beneath the surface. Silence enveloped us, thick with unvoiced emotions, as I felt the weight of his hidden truth pressing against the fragile air. I held onto the lessons, my gaze steady, while my heart quietly yearned for something more. I stepped back, a soft but undeniable distance between us. It wasn't that I was devoid of emotion. It was the realization that when your heart trembles in a forbidden space, every step forward frays the delicate fragments of yourself you long to protect. Michael stood quiet, a tempest of feelings raging just beneath the surface. He entered the classroom on time, handing in his assignments with a tenderness that made my heart ache. He took his usual place by the window, where the sunlight wrapped around him like a fleeting dream, a poignant reminder of a love that was never meant to be. But he never dared to come any closer again. We hovered in a quiet, forbidden space, an unspoken bond that neither of us could define, yet resonated profoundly in our souls. One day he quietly placed a note on my desk, sending my heart racing with a mix of excitement and fear. Untitled. No note. In that brief instant their gazes locked, kindling a flame that was both thrilling and perilous. As they stood together, the air crackled with a tension that felt both exhilarating and wrong, a bittersweet reminder of the love that dared not speak its name. Hearts raced, entwined in a delicate balance of desire and hidden truths, as they hovered on the edge of a breathtaking, yet illicit connection. Some souls drift into our lives, igniting a fire that stirs the depths of our hearts, even as darkness threatens to engulf us. I hold on to those words, each one a painful farewell, aware that they might never come back to me. Not painful, just a soft longing that lingers at the periphery of my heart. Like a woman swept away by a storm of longing, she murmurs to herself that some feelings are real, yet not every desire should be chased. My heart raced as I wrote a single line beneath his words, a hidden connection weaving us together in the darkness. Some truths linger like stolen glances, meant to tease our hearts, never to fully take root. Your truth is my lifeline. No signature. In that fleeting instant as Michael exited my classroom, my heart ached with all the words I dared not say. In the quiet of the empty room, my lesson plans faded into the background, lecture notes strewn about like the fragments of my heart. For the first time in ages, clarity enveloped me, igniting a spark of something I longed for but feared to acknowledge. Some boundaries are set not by laws, but by the decisions we take to shield our fragile hearts. Not because our hearts were unscathed, but because we knew the lines we dared not cross, protecting others from the pain we felt. I never thought I would find myself drawn back to this story, a fragile echo of feelings, yet here I stand, yearning for the perfect words to capture its essence. A moment of weakness, a secret gift, or that brief heartbeat when desire ignited, ensnared in a longing that felt so wrong yet so right. My heart aches with the bittersweet memories, yet I know deep down that letting go was the only choice I could make. Michael stood still, his heart pounding, trapped in a moment that was both thrilling and forbidden. He lingered in the quiet, his heart aching with unvoiced desire. He vanished into the night, but the warmth of his touch still burned within me, a secret I dared not share. I couldn't ignore the truth of that moment. I clung to it like a whispered promise, a brief spark of truth, fully conscious of the boundary I was too afraid to breach. This tale is a glimpse into the heart, not an excuse for what was felt. It's a reminder of how quickly feelings can blur the lines we've drawn, and the significance of holding on to our integrity, even when temptation pulls us to the edge, revealing the heavy price we might pay. Emotions swirl like a tempest, fierce and uncontainable, yet each step we take is laced with caution, a dance on the edge of what should never be. Maturity isn't about hiding our feelings, it's about dancing with them, finding a way to keep everyone safe, even if it means holding back our own hearts. I wore my masks, an adult, a teacher, a wife, but Michael, just a student, sparked a fire in me, awakening a longing I thought I had buried deep. A person who truly sees me, who feels the depths of my soul, and who understands the unspoken bond that pulls us together, even when it feels wrong. A heart ignited in secret. What secrets linger in the darkness, waiting to be shared? In a realm bound by unyielding rules, the heart yearns for a spark, a fleeting connection that flirts with the forbidden, igniting a fire that should remain unkindled. Emotions can engulf us, yet the path we take with them is ours to decide, even if it feels like a secret we must keep. Sometimes grown-ups need to find that flicker of passion again. A rush of excitement lingers, a spark that awakens a secret longing. Yet that one small step can plunge us into a whirlwind of longing, where the whispers of our decisions haunt us long after the fleeting moment has slipped away. In a moment of quiet intensity, when a gaze holds you captive with a sweetness that stirs something deep within, the only choice is to slip away into the darkness. You carry the burden of shielding both souls, even when your own heart aches with unspoken longing. If you've ever felt the thrill of a fleeting glance that dared to defy the rules, pause and embrace that truth deep inside you. Hold on tightly, but be careful not to lose yourself in the fire. Let it awaken your heart, then follow that ache to the secret longing you crave. In the glow of admiration, where trust intertwines with innocence, pause for a heartbeat. Step back, for the allure is both sweet and perilous. You don't lack feelings, you carry the burden of two hearts entwined. When a forbidden desire tugs at your heart, recognize its pull, but tread carefully, for the path it leads may be fraught with shadows. Let it be a secret sigh of your heartbeat, urging you to seize every moment, to move forward unburdened by the shadows of others' desires. If you've ever experienced a flicker of something forbidden, a bond that defied reason yet felt undeniable, leave a single duh. Not to tell the story, but to gently murmur to your heart that your emotions were always meant to be. It's all about the choice to release what binds you. If you seek stories that stir the soul, that pulse with longing and unspoken desires, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this secret with someone who craves a taste of the forbidden. Feelings ignite with an intensity that threatens to consume us, yet it's the boundaries we establish that keep us from disappearing into the haze.